RPW here with the next video for Talk Dragon Tuesdays. Now, if you don't already know, this week is going to be the breeding event. And I know I'm pretty excited about it because, well, I just love breeding my dragons. And for those of you that are new to War Dragons and you don't really know much about the breeding event, you really want to save and hold off breeding anything between these events. Unless you're super low level, like if you're still in the red tier, it's not really worth it. You're not going to be able to breed much during the event anyways. So no more than what you can collect up during that week. So if that's the case, just save back your mystic fragments and utilize those in future events. Now, if you're finding yourself in a pickle where there's nothing to breed, then be sure to check on two things. One, are all of your dragons debreedable? And two, is your castle big enough? Those are going to be two things that could cause that problem. Anyways, guys, there's a lot I need to talk about this morning, and the first thing is going to be me taking off for the holidays. I will be back on the 8th of January, and there's a couple reasons. Number one, it is the holidays, and my kids don't really get to see a lot of me because of the game, and try to balance the game and Alliance and, you know, family and YouTube and Creators Faction. It is a lot because there's a lot of time that goes into my videos. I really like to give you guys the best possible content, even though it's a constant update and constant changes and so forth. But I will be taking some time off, which means, yes, guys, that means this week we'll be no longer doing Talk Dragon Tuesdays or the weekly giveaway in them. And of course, we do have the winner. I started the video yesterday and I don't know what I did wrong. Well, I know what I did wrong. I did the live stream, but I was connected to the wrong account. So at the end of this video, we'll be sure to announce who that winner was. I very much apologize for that, guys. But anyways, with that being said, let's go through some of the Q&As that was in the past months. You know, entries. We had a lot of questions that came in with the entries for the giveaways that I do want to address today because there's not a lot of news going on in War Dragon, so it seems like the perfect time to do this. All right, so let's go through a few questions. What do you think I should do? I'm a level 210, but I still don't have Garnet Dragons. Any tips? Yes, absolutely. Stop what you're doing right now. Do not open any chests during the fortification event. Only open during the events where you get the most tokens. I know that one of those areas I like to open is the PvP. I no longer open in fortifications. And then, of course, I don't like to open during the breeding events because I get a lot of food packs and so forth. So for me, I would suggest only opening your chests during PvPs and just start focusing on your dragon growth. Talk to your leadership and let them know that you're not going to be growing beyond this level until you get your stuff caught up. Now, Garnet is not a bad dragon to be in, but I would like, if it was me being 210, I would be working towards getting your first emerald before you go any higher. Absolutely. Now, why can't PG offer a prize or a dragonstone line that could be used to level up past dragons? Now, let me give you guys an explanation as to why they can't do this, or why they choose not to do this. Not because they could easily give up those stones. However, imagine being a player who's been around for a long time, okay? And when they first began, they put in all this effort and, you know, maybe even money, for example. Or somebody grinded out. They're a free player and they got so proud because they earned an entire dragon, right? When they were little. But all of a sudden, everything that they worked for is easily accessible to everyone else. So I think the reason they do this is they promise you that whatever dragon you get and whatever you reach to, no one else is going to be able to take this dragon or have this dragon easily in the future. This will be your baby. You know, they're always bringing in more dragons and new dragons. So the best thing to do is let this go. I mean, honestly, I get why they do that. Now, this one says, how do I fix my base? I overdid it. I don't understand the question. Could be smart aleck. I don't know. What would you say is the biggest change PG needs to make to improve the game? I think the biggest change the PG needs to make is restoring the faith of the players by fixing the issues within the game. You know, stop making changes to the game that are not relevant to the issues we're having. You know, the fact that, you know, we have Atlas crashes, or the fact that, you know, all the little detailed things, the mundane things that don't seem like a big deal to them apparently, but are a huge deal to us. And I think them showing the evolution stones to us so blatantly is a great step in the right direction. What is your favorite dragon so far? I think a lot of you that have been around my channel for a while know exactly who this is. And right now that is a Quester. I'm hoping that changes this season, but the reason a Quester is my favorite is not because she's the strongest. I don't try to be the strongest flyer or the biggest guns on my team. I just try to be there for whoever needs me. So that might be a level 50. And with that being said, I might also be trying to back somebody with an ult. So I really like having a Quester because she is a great backup dragon for those smaller level players that allows me to multitask. And I don't feel like I'm letting somebody else down. What is your favorite flak? That would have to be the ice flak, because not only does it have a really good, you know, damage factor to it, but it has a very long range. I mean, the dark flak is pretty cool, but it only stuns players. It doesn't really put out a whole lot of attack. Let's see. How do you grow as a player? Well, believe it or not, I think to grow as a player, it's best to be on a team that doesn't make wars extremely important. Because wars are for the, you know, the entire team to grow, not for the player base to grow. So to choose a team where they allow you to make events and yourself the core belief of that time frame, to me is the best way to grow. I mean, the reality of it is, the better you do in events, the better you're going to do in your, you know, breeding your dragons. You're going to have more egg tokens to spend, for example. What inspired you to start your YouTube channel? Okay, so that's an easy one, a very easy one. I started this channel to help my team. Ultimately, I had a lot of family members on this team that really struggled to understand, you know, war dragons. There are so many resources out there to all these players. And literally a lot of the resources, or a lot of the information I found, was on websites like wardragons.info, War Dragons Zendesk, and everything. And all of these things are, you know, available to everyone. However, there's those players that don't have the time, or they don't know how to find that information. So the whole idea was to create a place that would make it easy to explain, because I have a hard time writing. People usually take me wrong. So I try to do like a voice out instead of a type out to my player base. Now, so one of the big reasons is because of my mother. My mother really struggled to understand the game, so I thought a YouTube videos would be great. Now, here's the thing. I didn't plan for this to become game-wide. I only planned on keeping it for the team. But every time a new player would come in and they didn't know anything, I'm like, what's going on here? So, you know, I'm trying to answer questions in the little chat, and it's just the constant same thing. And I thought, how many other teams are having this problem? When a new player joins, they really don't know really what's going on. So I thought, well, let's expand it out to everyone, and hopefully this will help all those teams. I know for me, I've noticed that a lot of your newer players come into Gold League and Platinum League teams, and we're busy just trying to learn how to be leaders at this point. So having to worry about every little player that comes in and reteaching them is a huge struggle. So I thought, well, this would be the perfect way to help those teams. All right, the next thing it says, what is my favorite old dragon? All right, so my favorite old dragon would have to be, wow, that is a tough one. So when I go back to the beginning of my time, which would be a year ago, I actually got Nidreer. I was able to get her in the very, very beginning. I didn't get her very far, but she did last me for a few weeks. Now, of course, shortly thereafter, I got a new dragon within the fall season of last year. And I ended up getting Necrix first with that 50% off. And then I got Shimrick. So Shimrick would have to be my favorite old dragon. That was my beastly one that I would always go for. All right, so it says, how long have I been playing? Well, that's the same answer. So about a year ago. It's when I began. Let's see. What do you think about PV giving away a free tier? Okay, so I don't understand the concept behind what they did. I really think it was pretty crappy. But I don't like to get into the politics of what PG does and does not do, because I, of course, have opinions, but I don't feel that this is a place to voice those opinions, because I don't want to work all of you up. I want this to be a great place for you to come and enjoy. However, I didn't like it. It did very much upset me. All right, so let's look down here. Let's see what else we've got. How do you share your videos on the Team Wiki? All right, so you can't put like a video format in the wiki, but you can put, let's say, a link that they can copy and paste. You just have to explain at the top, hey, look, these are RPW's videos for her Beginner's Guide series. And what I would do is just share the playlist link itself. And then they could just literally use that link, copy and paste, enter the browser, and there you go. All right. So how do you feel about the come back and play offer, which is the same thing? Again, I'm not happy with it, but I don't specifically like to bring that kind of stuff in my channel. Let's see. Are PG hurting the new player base with the Atlas patch that they brought in, which would have been, I'm guessing, back when they changed the troop counts? I think there's a lot of problems in Atlas that definitely hurts the new players, definitely. Not just new players coming to the game, but the platinum teams that are currently in there. And then if they expand, as we think they are, you know, it's also hurting them. And there's several reasons. And let's go over those real quick, just so you know. One of the things that I think has been the biggest challenge on our team within Atlas is the centralized banking. Now, in one sense, I love the centralized banking because I don't have to go from castle to castle to castle to castle. And like whenever you get a new castle, it makes it easy to upgrade without having to waiting for gold to transfer from one castle to another. However, the tax rate being the same across all boards has created a lot of wasted gold. So let's say you have a level 45 on your team, because platinum teams do have lower levels. Now with this player, they cannot transfer as much gold in. So for them to pay for something like Atlas Elite, they end up wasting a lot of money. A lot of money. So I think that's unfortunate because, you know, they could be on a castle where it's like a 75% tax and not have to worry about that. You know, a lot of their gold's going to go into the bank and then they can get it out, you know, later on. Where on the other hand, you know, a larger level player who needs a lot of gold in order to level up prime marks or whatever is put in a situation where, yeah, we can send in a lot, but, you know, I feel like that's one example, just one tiny example. However, you know, there are teams out there that'll do 100% tax and just says, if you need anything, just ask for it. No big deal. Anyway, with that being said, another thing I feel is it's like as if they did it backwards. You know, they brought the big guys in, then bring the next size in, and it promotes bullying. And unfortunately, I don't know that they're, you know, I'm not saying that they did this on purpose, but unfortunately, with that being said, you know, you've got all these platinum teams, you know, grabbing for scraps versus getting to be a part of something together. So to me, it's the way they've released it and the fact that they've not made territories for specific tiered, you know, specific, you know, leagues to protect them. So I would think that's the biggest injustice that's been done to the smaller players. What editing software do I use? Believe it or not, I use iMovie on my iPad. And the reason is because I'm a multitasker. So sometimes I'm doing these videos in, you know, my living room. Sometimes I'm doing it in bed. Sometimes I do the videos even in my car. So my PC is not necessarily move friendly. The other reason I use my iPad is because I am a professional photographer. So I have a lot of memory being stored up on my PC as of right now. So for me to put that many videos over onto my PC and constantly transfer them in and edit that, then transfer that out, it's just way too much. So for me, it's just a lot easier to be right here on the iPad, screen record my play, and then just plop it right in. Or I can screen record from my phone, and I can easily transfer it through AirDrop. So I don't know, it's just a very convenient way to do that. All right, so let's look and see what else there is. It says, is Hildur your favorite? No, Hildur's not my favorite. I don't hate this dragon. I don't love this dragon because I'm not even going for any dragons right now. I don't know. I don't have a favorite yet this season. I like to see them all before I say that. All right, let's go ahead and scroll up. Let's see what else there is. Have I decided on what other games I plan on playing? Yes, I do. I do know what games I want to play, which is the Ark. But I'm so busy playing this game and keeping up with the Alliance and the YouTube that I really haven't had time, unfortunately. Yes, I do plan on waiting for the reveal of the Sorcerer before I decide on my dragons. The Discount Hunter Dragon point of view. Okay, so guys, it doesn't matter if it's a hunter, if it's a warrior, or if it's a sorcerer. One of the things I always suggest, especially to smaller level players, is go for that 50% off dragon. Because the discounted rate that you're going to get, the prizes along the way are going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, this season started out with a PvP, which means you really had to go for that 50% off dragon if you wanted to get it, instead of the egg token bonus, which the egg token bonus brings you the goodies for PvPs. So on one hand, you know, I like to do my egg tokens for things like PvPs, but yet I like to do the 50% off in the beginning. But anyways, it doesn't matter what dragon it is, at least taking advantage of those prizes along the way is totally worth it. What is my favorite dragon to fly? Okay, that is a great question because I told you what my favorite dragon is, but what is my favorite dragon to actually fly? That would be 4. I absolutely love 4. You can get creative with him. You can take down some big bases with him. So whenever I do try to be, you know, a decent flyer, I would say 4 of the ones I specifically have, it would be 4. Now before 4 came along, it would have been Gargula. Gargula was a great dragon to have, and he had, you know, some really decent ideas that you could use with him. So I would use him as a setup dragon. I would go in, defeat, like for example, the mage towers, click that sacrifice swap, and then my buddy would come in behind me. You would like to see more leadership videos. That would be fantastic. That is where I love to do things, so you will see that coming soon. All right, one last question is, what is your main account? If you search up the word RPW or look up the team Royal Guardians, ROYALGUARDIANS, the very top one, the leader, RPW, is my main account. So that would be me. I think I'm level 275, I think. I'm not for sure. So I don't really pay attention to levels. I just play the game. Anyway, guys, so that is the Q&As for this, you know, past month. The questions you guys put out, I didn't go over all of them because some of them were statements. Some were something I just went over in the last video or whatever. But be sure to keep these coming in when we bring back our giveaways. So back to the fact that I'm going to be leaving and taking a break from YouTube. This is only going to be going out to the 8th of January. I will be back with Talk Dragon Tuesday, ready to get back into the swing of things. But let me go ahead and explain to you guys why. Because you guys have been with me for so long. A lot of you have been literally supporting me for a year now. So I feel it's very important that I give you a quick explanation so you know what's going on. I've had a few health scares over the past, I'd say, month. And I've been very, very sick. My vitamin D levels have been extremely low. And I have very little energy. So keeping up with being an officer and all of these things and making these long videos is a lot for me. It's a lot. So I'm going to be taking the next month to get my team prepared, get, you know, some things organized within our alliance, and then of course spend some time with my family for the holidays, as well as get my health back on track. This way, you guys aren't having to see the bounce in, bounce out. Oh, I promise I'll get the video out, but it never shows, etc., etc. However, I won't be completely gone. If you guys want to, you can join me on Facebook. Just look up RPW Gaming. You can find me over there. If I decide to go live, I will, of course, let everybody know on there. Hey, guys, I've got the time, so I'm going to go live on YouTube. So be sure to join me. And then I might share things in there because I do make booklets like for your team, for example, to utilize to, it's like the last one I did was a line guide. So it's something that I can kind of slowly work on throughout the day and not have to sit and, you know, work on something for hours at a time. But anyways, guys, I am very sorry about that, but I will see you guys back on January 8th. And I might be bringing back monthly giveaways versus weekly giveaways where we'll have 3 prizes, including a huge grand prize. And speaking of giveaways, so last week's winner. So here's what I did. I went live stream last night and I posted it up and I was like, why isn't it showing? Because I was going to, you know, post it somewhere and I was like, why isn't this thing showing? And I realized that I did the live stream on my main channel. or not my main channel, but my personal channel. So I'm like, crap. Well, I would have shared that, but the thing is, how many people would have gotten to be able to see that? So I just removed it. Now, the name that I drew was actually Pyro Redneck. So you were actually the winner of last week's contest. Congratulations, and I will send your name up. Now, again, guys, until further notice, until January 8th, there will be no more giveaways on this channel. We might be forwarding these over starting next week on my Facebook, however. We'll be doing some cool little riddles and contests over there, so be sure to check that out. But as for this, until January 8th, you will not be seeing any more drawings in this channel because it's going to be slowing way down. Anyways, guys, not wanting to let you guys go yet, I have a really cool surprise coming up for everyone, which is a new series called Featured Flyers. Now, featured flyers will be definitely coming in when I return, and I may be able to put out a few videos beforehand because it's not going to be a whole lot of work on my end. Now, this week's featured flyer is going to be Mistborn, who's actually Kavoth in the game. But Mistborn, I wanted to use that name because he actually does YouTube videos and he does Twitch videos, and he does particularly really useful Atlas Guide videos. So if you guys are looking for some Atlas information, he is definitely one to check out. Now, this new series, anybody is welcome to be a part of. If you want to take some, video of you flying a new dragon or whatever, and you would like to see that on a featured flyer videos, which will be randomly done until we get some stuff going after January 8th, then be sure to send me those videos online, and I will be sure to share your name information and your videos, and you'll have your very own video of you flying your favorite dragon or your least favorite dragon or whatever you want it to be. You can send it my way. So all I ask is that you send me a message in line under Royal Pain Wife. That's my actual ID, and then you could send me 3 to 5 videos so that we can make you up a cool little video. But let's go ahead and give you guys a small taste of some flying being done by Mistborn, and after, of course, we get this video rolling at the very end of this, it will mean the end of Talk Dragon Tuesday for this week. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys back on January 8th.